Hi everyone, it's me, Traveler Lily, here back with another video on my channel. I know it's been a while since I've posted anything and all that. Let's get back a little. There we go. That way you guys can see me. I know it's been a while since I posted anything. It's because I've been busy with school lately, as I'm sure a lot of you are probably busy with school or other stuff going on in your life, so I'm sure it's been a real challenge, I'm sure, for a lot of you, including myself. It's been a real challenge. So yeah, I'm here, back with another video. It's not like another book review or, tag video or anything like that. It's more, of a book recommendation video, I guess you can call it. It's, the fall book recommendation, which I've been seeing quite a few videos of lately here on YouTube of people, I guess, recommending books that would be fitted for the season, like fall, which is coming up soon. So yeah. This is the first time I'm recommending books based upon a season. I've never recommended, a book based upon a season, except maybe The Christmas Wedding, which I have the book review for here on my channel. I will link it in the description or in the iCard above at some point in the video. So yeah. Guess I've talked long enough on my introduction, so here it goes with a few of the books I've to recommend for the fall season, since Halloween is coming up next month. And, well, here are the books I think would be good for Halloween/fall. And so here it goes. First one is Help for the Haunted by John Shilays, I think is how you pronounce his name. Help for the Haunted is about this girl named Sylvie, who, basically, her parents basically are murdered, and she was there on the night they were murdered, and all she heard was gunshots and all that while they were investigating some church or whatever, like that, and so she's trying to deal with the death of her parents, and trying to figure things out with, her older sister, and it's just trying to figure out who murdered her parents. And it deals with grief and all that. And I read this many years ago, so I don't remember what it mostly was about. But I definitely remember that it was about that much. So I will read you the summary to get you a better idea of what's about. That way, you're not going into it totally confused. So I would read the summary of it, so like I said, you get a better idea of it than just me trying to explain it and getting you all confused. And so here's the summary to Help for the Haunted. Sylvie Mason's parents have an unusual occupation, helping haunted souls find peace. After receiving a phone call late one snowy night, they are lured to an old church on the outskirts of town, while Sylvie falls asleep in the car and is awoken by the sound of gunshots. Orphaned on that night, Sylvie comes under the care of a reckless, distant older sister, still living in the rambling Tudor house that guards the relics of her parents' past. As she pursues the mystery of their deaths, Sylvie's story weaves back and forth between the time leading up to the murders and the months following, uncovering the truth of what happened that night and the secrets that have haunted her family for years. So yeah, that is basically what it's about. It kind of, like somebody said, it goes back and forth between past tense and the months following after her parents' murders. So if you're not into the whole perspective changing of going back and forth between the past and the present, then, well, it's not the book for you. But if you're into, like, a murder mystery and you enjoy the whole, I guess, aspect of quote-unquote spirits, then then Hopeful Haunted is for you. I would highly recommend this book. I would obviously give it a 4 out of 5 stars, in my opinion. And yeah, it's just the first book I would recommend for the fall Halloween spirit, if you're going for the whole Halloween vibe. Anyway, moving on. The next one is a total Halloween vibe kind of book, and it is The Ghost Huntress, The Awakening by Marley Gibson. And it's about this girl named Kendall who... never mind. Yeah, all I need to know, it's about this girl named Kendall who figures out she can see ghosts and ends up discovering that she needs to be able to hunt ghosts. And so we do the summary again, so it makes it easier to be explained that we get, again, some ideas. So I'll redo the summary for probably each book for this entire video, rather than me trying to explain it, because I'm whole book explaining things. So I'll just basically read the summary for you guys, so that way I'm not horribly trying to explain the book to you and you basically getting confused and being misinformed by everything. So yeah, here goes. Kendall Moorhead can't sleep, not a wink. Ever since her family moved from Chicago to the small town of Radisson, Georgia, Kendall hasn't gotten a decent night's sleep. It's just too freaking quiet. Anyway, yeah. To remedy the situation, Kendall's father brings home a white noise machine. But what Kendall hears is anything but relaxing. A voice comes through the machine. A voice? Has Kendall completely lost her mind? Or is she waking up to a world she never knew existed? So yeah, that's basically the summary of it. It basically, like I said, she can basically will eventually discover that she will see ghosts, and, well, like somebody said, no new world existed. So, it is the first book in a series. I believe the second book is already out. Already, I have not read the second book. I hope to read the second book. And I would definitely give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. In my opinion of it, and it definitely will set you in the mood of the Halloween vibe and the fall vibe as well. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say about it. And I would highly recommend also this book as well, like I'm doing with all these books, is recommending. Anyway, yeah, moving on. Next book is The Creeping by Alexandra Surway. And here is the summary for it. Stella Cameron is the lucky one. When she was a kid, Stella and her friend Janie vanished into the woods. Stella came back with no memories of what happened. Janie never did. 11 years later, Stella is over it. Mostly. She can't remember a time when people didn't look at her with a question in their eyes. But she has a summer full of COVID days ahead of her. A best friend with a devil-may-care attitude, and a maybe crush on a gorgeous guy. All she wants to do is have the best summer of her life, and leave the past in the past. But then the fresh corpse of a little girl is found, with eerie similarities to Janie, and Stella's memories start coming back in fits and starts. As Stella starts to uncover the truth about the day Janie vanished, she discovers a breadcrumb trail for going back generations. Stella thinks remembering what happened to Janie will save her. It won't. She used to know better than to believe in what leaks through the shadows. Not anymore. And before the summer's out, Stella will learn that if you hunt for monsters, you'll find them. So, as you might have guessed from that summary, it is a murder mystery. And as you might have heard me say, it basically revolves around Stella Cameron, who, 11 years ago, when she was about 6 years old, her and one of her, friends, Janie, vanished to the woods, and Stella basically came came back out of the woods alive, but Janie never did. So basically, Janie was killed and murdered and never found. Well, her body was never found. And so Stella doesn't remember anything that happened. It's just this whole turmoil and mess of things that happens over the course of the years. Of people trying to figure out what happened to her, what happened to her body, all that, and what or who killed her. And so it's just this one big thing of where Stella is starting to remember, like the summary said, in bits and pieces of what really happened that day. And so it just starts to become this big mess all over again for her. And yeah, it just from there goes haywire, it goes crazy and all that, so yeah. I definitely liked this book a lot. I definitely thought it brought the element of what it's like to know someone and to escape from a horrible situation, especially a traumatizing one, and to basically be to that point of where you're so traumatized where you don't remember what happened because obviously you want to forget it. It's so traumatizing, particularly if you're a kid. And yeah, like it's just one of those examples of where a case can go cold for several years and never, be solved until maybe years later, or just goes unsolved or whatever, And yeah, I just enjoy that aspect of it, because usually you don't get to see that side of where the killer's still roaming around out there in the world. And you usually see in a lot of books, particularly mystery, where the killer's caught or they died or whatever, and you don't discover the killer until years later and all that, which is all I'm going to say for this book, because I don't want to spoil it for you guys if you're into reading the creeping. And yeah, I definitely gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I definitely enjoyed it. Yeah, I just totally enjoyed it. I read it like in a few days or so, and I just really enjoyed it a lot. I don't know if you guys can see me, because the reason why you can't really see the top of my forehead, because you would be seeing a glare from my ceiling fan light. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next book. I know this is taking a long time, and I'm only gone through 3 books, but bear with me, please, for all of these. If you're still watching this video, then good for you. You took the time to listen and hear what my opinions were of it. So yeah. Next book. The next book is The Death of the Black-Haired Girl by Robert Stone. Something, before I go into reading the summary of this book, something I did not know about the author was that he died after he, published this book, because I read, on the wiki or whatever like that. I know wiki's not a reliable source or anything like that, but I did not know that the author, Robert Stone, had died, and that this was, his last book or whatever, so I did not know that. So, yeah. So if you're wanting to read any more of his books, or there are more of his works, but if you're thinking that he's going to write more books, well, he can't. He died. So, anyway, Death of the Black-Haired Girl by Robert Stone. I will now read you the summary, which is inside here, the book. And so here it goes, the summary of Death of the Black-Haired Girl. In an elite college in a once decaying New England city, Stephen Brookman has come to a decision. A brilliant but careless professor, he is determined that for the sake of his marriage and his soul, he must extract himself from his relationship with Mud Stack, his electrifying student, whose papers are always late and too long, and yet always incandescent. But Mud is a young woman whose passions are not easily contained or curtailed, and their union will quickly yield tragic and far-fetching consequences. So, and then, the stakes of Brookman and Mud's relationship prove higher than either one could have anticipated, pitting individuals against one another and against the institutions meant to protect them. And so, yeah. That is the summary of it. The reason why I chose this book for a fall recommendation, and the reason why it's considered spooky, is because there is a death within this book, and it does give you, the title does give you that impression that it is a murder mystery stuff, and that it is the type of book that does give, like I said, a murder mystery, and that whole vibe of it being like paranormal and all that. Even though throughout the entire book it is mostly this Professor Stephen Brookman trying to call this relationship to his student Mud, because the fact that within the book, I'll give you spoilers for this, if you're interested in hearing the spoilers to this book of it, is that he has a wife, and they already have a daughter, but his wife is pregnant with their second child, and so so basically what he decides to come to, like somebody said, is to call it quits with Mud, who he's having an affair with, and his wife has no idea that he's basically cheating on her with one of his students, and so he wants to call it quits and everything, and from there it does not go well at all. As the summary said, it does not go well at all for either one of them, and Mud, I guess, will eventually not take it well, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I've not finished this book. I'm still in chapter 4 of this book, so I don't know how it's going to end, but I would assume Mud does not take it well, because so far I got to the point where Mud is still in love with him and everything, and Stephen is still in love with Mud, but he wants to call it quits for the sake of his marriage and, and his family. So yeah, that's all I gotta say for this book. So far I'm liking it, but I don't know. I feel like for a book that's titled Death of a Black-Haired Girl, I was thinking it was going to be a murder mystery novel, but so far it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of a letdown so far, just because it makes you think that it's going to be a murder mystery, but it's not. It's about a guy who's a professor who has an affair with one of his students, and is trying to break it off with that student just for the sake of his marriage. And yet there's going to be a death within this book. Yeah. It's just weird. Just for the fact that there's going to be a death near the end of this book, I'm guessing. So, yeah, that to me just sets you up for disappointment if you're thinking this is a murder mystery. It's not at all. It's a young adult, teen fiction, I guess you could call it, book or whatever, So yeah, so if you plan on reading Death of Black-Haired Girl, do not go expecting that it's a murder mystery, because it is not a murder mystery at all. At all. As soon as you read the summary, you'll understand why it's not a murder mystery. It is not. There's I'm guessing tragic events within this book, but not in the way you expect it to be. That's all I can say. So yeah, next book. Enough of me ranting about how this is a disappointment to me so far, and I'm hoping it gets better over time within the chapters. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say heading to that little rant. Moving on, next one I got is The Haunting of Sunshine Girl by Paige McKenzie. You probably don't know, but I did a book review on this book. It is the first book of Paige McKenzie's The Haunting of Sunshine Girl trilogy, and for those of you who don't know, her first book is based upon her YouTube channel series, and her other two books are kind of more away from her YouTube channel, but more or less still good. In terms of that, I am subscribed to her YouTube channel on YouTube, obviously, and I have watched all her YouTube videos. Her channel's pretty good. For those of you who are probably thinking, oh yeah, this is all, before you go thinking, oh yeah, all the videos of her doing like paranormal stuff and all that is real. It's not real, it's fake, it's acting, but it's still good acting, and there's a whole bunch of good series on her channel, like her videos of her doing paranormal videos of her communicating with ghosts, and some of her other videos like Stalked and all of that, as I'm sure maybe some of you might be aware of. If you have seen some of her videos or subscribed to her and all that, then you probably know, obviously, some of these videos. If you're fans of her and her books and her channel, then you guys might know. But for a lot of you, I'm sure, who haven't heard of her, Paige McKenzie is a YouTuber who does paranormal videos, and she does all sorts of paranormal videos, like her own series about her hunting ghosts, and she does other videos like Stalked, which is about a woman named Christine who's being stalked, and is trying to figure out who's stalking her. And so there's a whole bunch of other videos you can go check out as well on the channel. If you'll go check that out, and yeah, I will read the summary to her first book, since I have yet to finish her second one out of her trilogy, and I don't have the third one yet, and I haven't read the third book yet, but I hope to read it soon. Anyway, here is the summary for her first book of her trilogy. Shortly after her 16th birthday, Sunshine Griffith and her mother Kat moved from sunny Austin, Texas to the rain-drenched town of Ridgemont, Washington. Though Sunshine is adopted, she and her mother have always been close, sharing a special bond filled with laughter and inside jokes. But from the moment they arrive, Sunshine feels her world darken with a eeriness she cannot place, and even if Kat doesn't recognize it, Sunshine knows that something about the new house is just creepy. On the first night in Ridgemont, Sunshine is awakened by the sound of footsteps coming from above, followed by a child's ghostly laughter. In the days that follow, things just get more frightening, but Kat seems oblivious to the terror, insisting that Sunshine's imagination is getting the best of her. Determined to prove her mother wrong, Sunshine begins taking photographs, desperate to catch evidence of the supernatural presence. At her new school, Sunshine meets Nolan Foster, a cute, if slightly bookish classmate. Nolan also has a passion for photography. I said photograph. Oh yeah, I said photography, yeah. And more importantly, for ghosts. He offers to help Sunshine figure out exactly what's going on. What they uncover is a story that's much bigger and runs deeper than they could have imagined. She can hardly believe it, but as the spirits haunting her house become stranger, and it becomes clear that Kat is in danger, Sunshine learns that everything she thought she knew about her past has been wrong. So yeah, that's all I can give you so far for the summary. Well, not in terms of the summary, but in terms of the plot for her first book. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I would give this a 5 out of 5 stars. I would highly recommend you go check out her book trilogy and her YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is The Haunting of Sunshine Girl Networks. So I will recommend you go check that out. I will probably leave a link to her channel in the description below, so you can go check that out as well. So yeah, on to the next book. The next book is Confessions. Confessions of a Murder Suspect by James Patterson and Maxine Petro, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this is a good murder mystery book as well. This is the first book out of a series of books. There's 4 books in all, if you're wondering. And I have the first 3 books. I've read the first 2. I've yet to read the third one. So yeah. So I will read the summary. That way you guys, again, know what it's about. I'm not sure I left my parents. On the night Malcolm and Mud Angel are murdered, the daughter Tandy is one of the last people to see her powerful parents alive. Now, before I go on and read the rest of the summary, I just want to say there's another character named Mud. Something about the name Mud in murder mysteries just seems to be popular. For whatever reason. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on and reading the rest of the summary here. I'm not sure they love me. Tandy and her brothers are the only suspects, and as she begins to remember flashes of disturbing past events, she's forced to ask this question. What is the Angel family truly capable of? But I'm going to find out who killed my parents. No, sorry, I read that wrong. But I'm going to find out who killed them, even if it was me. So, like somebody said, Tandy Angel is the last person to see her powerful parents alive, and she goes and tries to figure out who killed her parents in the first novel, and it's all these series of events that take place over the course of like several weeks, months, or whatever. And like somebody said, she figures out these deep dark secrets and this labyrinth of lies that go on within the family, and it's just this whole conspiracy thing and all that. So yeah, it just goes to show you that even in a powerful family, there are secrets that even the parents don't want the children finding out. So yeah, I would highly recommend this book. I would give this a 5 out of 5 stars. I would definitely recommend reading this book as well, because it's such a good book, and it definitely gives you a glimpse of the inside look of what's like to lose your parents, and especially powerful ones, and it just goes to show you what family does and goes to extreme lengths just to protect the deep dark secrets. So yeah, I would highly recommend this book overall. Last book, finally, we're to the last book, and it is Down the Darkest Road by Tammy Hugo. I'm just gonna call her Hugo, whatever, you know. I did a book review of this book as well on my channel. I would highly recommend checking this out as well. And I will read the summary to this book for all of you guys who probably haven't watched my review of it, and so here's the summary. Once upon a time, I had the perfect family. I had the perfect husband. I had the perfect children. I had the perfect life and the perfect home. And then, as in all fairy tales, evil came into our lives and destroyed us. 4 years after the unsolved disappearance of a 16-year-old daughter, Lauren Lawton is the only one still chasing the ghost of her perfect Sam Barber life. The world has given her daughter up for dead. Her husband ended his own life in the aftermath. Even Lauren's younger daughter is desperate to find what's left of the childhood she hasn't been allowed to have. Lauren knows exactly who took her oldest child, same thing, but there is not a shred of evidence against the man. Even as he stalks her family, Lauren is powerless to stop him. Santa Barbara police are handcuffed by the very laws they are sworn to uphold. Looking for a fresh start in a town with no memories, Lauren and her younger daughter, Leah, moves to idyllic Okinawa. No. But when Lauren's suspect turns up in the same city, it feels to all the world that history is about to repeat itself. Leah Lawton will soon turn 16, and Oak Knoll has a cunning predator on the hunt. Sheriff's Detective Tony Mendez and his team begin to close in on the suspected killer, desperate to keep the young woman of the picturesque town safe. But as the investigators shift through the murky circumstances of an increasingly disturbing case, a stunning question changes everything they thought they knew. So yeah, that is basically the summary of that book. And it's very interesting because I really enjoyed this book, and it just, again, it's another murder mystery book, but it's more of a adult book, I would say, just because the main character, like I said in my review, is an adult and not a young teenager. So, like most of the books I've shared with you in this video are. So, yeah. So it definitely goes to show you, again, that it's a cold case, but, again, the killer in the end is discovered, and it's solved. But, anyway, I would highly recommend this book to anyone who's wanting to transition into adult mystery, and would highly recommend for you guys to go read it. And, so yeah. Oops, excuse me, kind of burped that. Not sure if you heard it, but I kind of did. So yeah, I would highly recommend this book. Overall, I would recommend all these books to you guys if I could, and I would also try to get you to read all these books. You know, obviously if you're into it, and if you're into, you know, mystery books and all that. And all these books definitely give off a Halloween sort of vibe and all that, in my opinion. You know, I'm sure there are other people who have maybe different opinions on what they might consider Halloween-ish to them. I mean, if you want to share your opinions on what books you think might be perfect for fall or Halloween, whatever, you know, you can go and leave that in the comments below. You don't have to agree with me on all these books. So, yeah, I mean, you're allowed to disagree. So don't go in the comments and try agreeing with me on all of these. You don't have to. I mean, if you have read some of these books and you thought they were good too, that's fine. But you don't have to, like I said, again, you don't have to agree with me on all these books, you know, whether or not they're good. And yeah, that is all the books, I think, again, for that are considered Halloween-ish and what could be perfect for fall recommendations. And so, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys stay tuned until next time I try getting a video out next time. I will see if I can do maybe another tag. It might be the cake book tag, I think. Maybe challenge or something. I don't know. I'm not sure yet of what I'm going to do next here on my channel. We'll see. Other than that, yeah, I guess I'll see everyone guys next time. And I hope everyone has a great day, and hope to see you guys next time. So see you later, guys. Bye.